do you think being such a figure on social media, YouTube, that there's a little bit, and obviously there is a little bit more of a target on your back when you are rolling? Do you get people are watching more? Does that add to anything? How do you handle that? When you know these guys are like, oh, I've already rolled 4 times. Now look at this big dude wants some action. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it definitely, when I'm traveling, I definitely feel that. Because people do try to come at me and stuff. Not everybody, but a lot of people do, especially like if I'm gonna roll at the end of a seminar. And I'm 44 years old. That's the real pressure I feel. Is like, oh man, I'm as good once as I ever was, but I'm
yeah,
not as good as I once was. You know what I'm
yeah, I
saying?
hear you.
So that's the pressure I feel. It's more like self-imposed because I can't necessarily keep up athletically in the way that I used to. But yeah, people definitely try to come at me. In the gym, I mean, everybody always comes at you. They all want the crown.
What is this comes from um, TKD Penguin, Taekwondo Penguin. Okay.
Okay.
What is the biggest growth you've learned from becoming a black belt?
Oh man, that'd be hard. That'd be hard to answer. I guess for me, it wasn't, it's not necessarily being a black belt, but it happened at black belt, I guess. Um, so I had a car wreck when I was a brown belt and I broke my neck and I ended up having to get a plate in my neck right here. Right. And up to that point, um, I was very much like a grinder. I'm tough. I'm hard to choke. All of these things you tell yourself,
Mm-hmm.
about what kind of jujitsu you have. And when I had the neck surgery, I I had to make a decision. Like, did I want to be not what I once was, or did I want to use this as an opportunity to become something different? You know what I'm saying? And so after that neck surgery, I couldn't be, especially for the first probably 2 years, I couldn't be that hard nosed, dig my head in kind of player that I always had been. And so I had to learn to do jujitsu in a completely new way, to where rather than constantly winning these head to heads, that I would just move around the head to head pressure. And
Mm-hmm.
so I had to really start understanding jujitsu from a different way, that it's like a receiving and a turning back of energy rather than a meeting of energies, if that makes sense. And so that happened, that process started for me at the end of my brown belt and at my black belt. But another thing about getting my black belt was like, I felt like a total release of pressure. So I know a lot of people, I'll hear them say that when they got their black belt, they felt like that was a lot of pressure. But for me, I felt like it was Eddie signing off on, hey man, you did everything that I asked you to do. You're free to go fly, little bird, like go be
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And so to me, it felt like a relief of pressure, like, oh, I did it. Like Eddie really believes in me now. And I kind of felt like I was free to explore and find a new way to do jujitsu that made sense for me. So the injury and like the realization that I couldn't keep doing jujitsu that way. If I wanted to continue doing jujitsu into my 50s and 60s, I couldn't. That was not the way that was going to work. I was going to have to retire,
Right.
So that realization plus like the freedom that I got right not long after that when I got my black belt to like go and kind of explore and make jujitsu my own personal experience. I would say that combination is the biggest thing that changed my jujitsu and like opened my mind up to new ways as a black belt.
I think the better your professor is, obviously Eddie is a legend. And
Yeah.
like same with me, I come with a guy who's got multiple world championships and very decorated in the sport of jiu-jitsu. I feel like the better your professor is, when you do get that black belt, it's like you said, it's more freedom because the guy who's signing off on you is that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's that guy.
I
Like, you know
felt
what I
that
mean? So
for
it's like,
sure.
if you're getting a black belt from Jim, from the YMCA, you're like, am I like, but like if the guy who's got all the credentials and the legacy and this, and he's already paved his way and he gives you a black belt, that's the ultimate dawn. Is like, yeah, man, like if he thinks I am, then I am.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter if I think I am.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I need to learn better because apparently I am.
Yeah,